FTX, one of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world ever, has collapsed. And we're going to break down exactly why, what happened along the way, the signs we should have seen, and just the insane irony here. My name's Voskcoin, the Voskcoin YouTube channel. Let's dig into it. Bankman was in the name. We should have been scared from the beginning. Anyway, some crypto exchanges already secretly insolvent. The insane accuracy of this, because it was him. He was talking about himself. He was talking about FTX. So this is a tweet from a few months ago, but it took some valuations into mind, right? So we have FTX raising 400 million, which put them at a 32 billion valuation. They're worth more than Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, Nasdaq, SIBO, and Robinhood. Well, they were. Okay, they were. FTX, what good is this? You deleting tweets, Bitcoin Magazine? They got you pushing papers now?
They got you pushing pencils now?
Anyway, the quick recap, if you somehow didn't know this yet, Binance exited FTX equity last year. Genius move on their part. They received 2.1 billion in BUSD Binance dollar and FTT, the FTX token. And it's clearly a much more of a Terra Luna style UST event than anyone had realized and anticipated. That FTX was so incredibly propped up by their token that they issued, that they marketed, that they brought to market. Okay. So they had their beef on Twitter, and then they turned around and tried to get Binance to buy them. Okay, as a result of Binance's due diligence, within 24 hours, they backed out of the deal saying, nope, not going to happen, not interested. Now they need $8 billion, warning of bankruptcy. Apparently, SBF personally owes over $500,000, and his market cap, personally went from being one of the richest men in the world to being one of the most poor men in the world. Now he's endorsing Justin Sun, as Justin Sun's always like just looking to be like a little predator, and saying he's basically gonna back up Tron ecosystem tokens, and now everyone's dumping all of their money on the FTX exchange, which they cannot withdraw because withdrawals are not possible into these Tron TRX tokens and the other ecosystem tokens that are supported. I'm gonna dig into this here shortly, but this was an early breakdown and crazy because and really interesting because basically SBF kept saying that he was doing these buys, right, and buying all these FTT tokens, doing his weekly buys and things like that. Which is really crazy. I mean, look at all these different weekly buys where he's truly pumping FTT. Like, this is absolutely criminal, psychopath level behavior. Like, this is just crazy. This is insane. Like, this dude knew that they were insolvent. Alameda Research blew up, and he basically seems to have taken customer funds and all the FTT could ever be worth, which is highly illiquid, which we've now seen, to just prop up essentially a Ponzi scheme. And when he had an interview a while ago, he was talking about DeFi and things like that, and basically calling farming a Ponzi scheme.
You might think, for instance, that in 5 minutes with an internet connection, you could create such a box and such a token, and that it should reflect it should be worth $180 or something market cap for that effort that you put into it. In the world that we're in, if you do this, everyone's going to be like, ooh, Box token. Maybe it's cool. If you buy a Box token, that's going to appear on Twitter and it'll have a $20 million market cap. So, X tokens being given out each day. All these sophisticated firms are like, that's interesting. If the total amount of money in the box is $100 million, then it's going to yield $16 million this year in X tokens. That's pretty good. We'll put a little bit more in. Right? And maybe that happens until there are $200 million in the box. So, sophisticated traders and or people on crypto Twitter or other sort of similar parties go and put $200 million in the box collectively, and they start getting these X tokens for it. Right? And now all of a sudden everyone's like, wow, people just decide to put $200 million in the box. This is a pretty cool box, right? This is a valuable box. as demonstrated by all the money that people have apparently decided should be in the box. And who are we to say that they're wrong about that? Like, and it is sort of like real monetizable stuff in some senses. And, you know, at some point, like if the world never decides that we're wrong about this in like a coordinated way, right? Like you're kind of the guy calling bullshit, saying, no, this thing's actually worthless. But in what sense are you right? You could see something get market cap in the way that, I don't know, Dogecoin or Shibcoin have, right? Where people are just kind of like, haha, and then they buy it. And if you're like, that's dumb, it has no cash flow, I'm going to short sell it, you lose all your money.
And then just a couple weeks ago, he came out with a bill to regulate cryptocurrency, and pretty much the biggest complaint of it was him kind of destroying DeFi. And then he donated millions and millions of dollars to the Democrats. I won't even start. In the USA, presidential campaigns and whatever else. He donated, at this point, customers' money. If you're an FTX user, he sent your money to, of all people, Joe Biden.
In a silk mill.
FTX US was supposed to be a separate entity, which it technically is, and yet they have now filed for bankruptcy together. This is mind-blowing, astonishing. Then there's now apparently the FTX hack that has recently come in. I mean, like, it's like every hour we get breaking news, and then there's some white hat hacking, which, or even if that's the case or not, then the alternative was that FTX realized that there was this backdoor being exploited, and then they were trying to move those funds away and safeguard them so they're less likely, some of them, to go to jail. Then apparently the hacker sent some of these funds to Kraken. Kraken realized this. The hacker did a poor job. They froze the funds, reporting that guy to the authorities. Oh my gosh, I'm just absolutely blown away that FTX US has been wrapped into the same bankruptcy deal and mixed the assets. This is unprecedented. This is the biggest scam, scheme, Ponzi bankruptcy in the history of the world from a monetary point of view, and probably a people impacted point of view. This is unlike anything anyone else has ever seen. BlockFi says that, you know, their line of credit is through FTX US, not FTX.com, aka international, and they're going to be an independent entity until at least July 2023. All this stuff is just absolutely insane. I mean, you can see here Flory was saying, who, by the way, is one of the C titles at BlockFi, co-founder, all that stuff, went to Ivy League schools, and she's saying, yeah, everything's good. It's fine. Withdrawals have always worked. Then not even 2 days later, yeah, we're shocked. Withdrawals are paused. Terrifying. And to be honest, just criminal. We're dealing with criminal scale issues here. It's been days. This is all BlockFi has said. We're all still just sitting here in the dark for potentially devastating news, for myself included. Terrifying time. I've seen transactions of FTX International mixing funds and utilizing FTX US. So I think that FTX is going to siphon everything they can out of every aspect of their ecosystem. Obviously, Solana is like beyond doomed, which is one of my other points that I want to make in today's video. Okay, so wrapped Solet tokens on Solana are backed by FTX Alameda, and again, Alameda Research and FTX, they're basically, think of a VC and trading firm and Ponzi scheme, plus a centralized exchange and a Ponzi scheme, wrapped all in one. Insane. Unable to meet redemptions of the tokens, zero value, collapse of these tokens will short to medium term kill Solana DeFi. Absolutely. unspoken issue until, very recently, not just by me, but other people are realizing this and talking about it, right? Is BTC. It's Solana Bitcoin. These tokens are issued by FTX or Alameda, and it seems to be Alameda is issuing this. It's not like WBTC, Wrap Bitcoin, which had a formal process, had underlying assets. Basically, Alameda Research put Bitcoin on the Solana blockchain as a token. Basically, Bitcoin traded on top of the Solana blockchain and never backed it by Bitcoin. So the whole Solana ecosystem, it's doomed. To put it simply, I mean, the whole market is getting crushed. But let's look at Solana. Down 53%, down 46%, down 56%, down 65%. That's in the last 7 days. Last month looking pretty bad as well. TVL, total value locked, is absolutely plummeting, right? Just a couple of days ago, TVL per DeFi Llama over here, over $1 billion. It is now at less than $500 million. We're dealing with a lot of illiquid tokens, positions that are basically impossible to get out of. All this stuff is getting crushed. It's terrifying. Solana is just, it's toast. It's basically toast. Hold on, I gotta get my candies. Bam, I'm on a pretty good streak right now. So Solana still somehow the 12th biggest cryptocurrency and ranked by CoinMarketCap, still worth $6 billion, and it just astonishes me. FTT, F you, I'll buy all your FTT at $3. Well, Sam, go ahead and do that tweet again. This is crazy. Or no, that was Solana at $3, not FTT. I'm getting those confused, but fun throwback nevertheless. But I guess he was buying those Solana tokens with customer assets, because where have the assets all gone? Yeah, down 96%. Still not in an all-time low, or even just trading at, I don't know. It's just crazy. These valuations are still crazy. I don't really understand how they're propped up, by these other exchanges right now. It truly blows my mind, but anyway, I'm astonished that the FTX token, still is maintaining a market cap even close to $500 million, and the same with Solana. I think those things will very soon will be looking like Terra Luna, but not this Terra Luna that blows my mind. This one is $300 million. There's too much nonsense in the crypto ecosystem. Terra Classic USD, this used to be $1. Now it's a whole lot of nothing. I don't know how anyone is so stupid. They're into Terra Luna, Terra Classic, or anything in between. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right one. That's the wormhole, whatever. It's all so convoluted. It's all nonsense. We've already hashed out Three Arrows Capital and their whole demise. But the takeaway is that Alameda Research basically went insolvent at the same time. But FTX was trying to, prop them up and hold them up from behind the scenes. I think this is like, a little comic relief, and all this negativity. This was supposed to save us from inflation. It literally delivered us to hell, okay? And, this is where we're going. Good meme, right? My wife after death. Granny, I missed you. I missed you too. Me after death. Where the is SBF? Okay, and look, I love Doom. Doom meme inserted here. It's exquisite, or wherever you do the little... yeah. It's exquisite. It's exquisite memes.
Nice.
FTX may launch their own stablecoin in the not too distant future. How terrifying is that? It puts it even one click closer to being a Terra Luna UST scam Ponzi scheme debacle. And I mean, this dude is a psychopath, moving all these chips along when I sure as hell knew how bad this situation was, right? And this guy, very forward thinking here, impressive, and I don't know, if you're always saying something, eventually you're also going to be right. I'm not trying to take away from him, but anyway, not really the point. 12 reasons why he's completely out on FTX, Mafia, and SBF FTX. Volume is down. which means less volume, less fees, less revenue. And keep in mind, this is a month ago. This was a great foreshadow. Huge shout out and respect to him for just knocking this out of the park, right? That decentralized exchange and derivative volume is up, right? We've shown you how to use GMX among some other things on the channel. Decentralized futures trading is incredible, especially as a US citizen. But DEXs are taking that market share away. They're taking that revenue away. Splintered attention. FTX NFTs. You know, I was very happy to see an NFT marketplace on FTX US. We've talked about it many times here on the channel because FTX in particular is a sponsor, or was, of the Voskcoin YouTube channel. Now the whole ecosystem is blowing up, but basically more NFT marketplaces is a win for users. But I agree with the splintered attention here. You know, massive failure on FTX NFTs taking off, building that marketplace, showing it up. Same talking about buying Twitter, joining Elon's bid. I mean, dude, focus on your business and your insolvency. Why are you trying to spend more customer money on getting in on the Twitter acquisition? Like, it's crazy. It's weird. Something has gone so wrong along the way. And I thought it was because of the forced move to Miami for the headquarters, and maybe like Brett Harrison was a family man and didn't want to move across the country. And he's like, yeah, this would be a good exit point for me. Plus it's bear market season in crypto. But the FTX US CEO and Alameda CEO both left. The head of the OTC and institutional trading leaving quietly. Something shady is happening, or these guys are post-economic. Either way, he's out. Very smart breakdown right there. Market manipulation allegations. What shady things can be happening? Glad you asked. Allegations of price manipulation by Wave's CEO. Allegations of listing sell in order to allow naked shorting and tank the price or cause multiple short squeezes. They went from meme to creating a bad brand for the FTX crew. Trabucco talking about going fast on his yacht doesn't help either. Why are journalists so excited to make my stepping down about something other than a desire to go fast over nice water? A brand of price manipulation going to make volume go elsewhere. Less volume, less profitable to market make, liquidity leaving. Stablecoins. They took the lazy way out and made the basket of stablecoins. The path to being the full-on crypto central bank requires having a stablecoin. Bitfinex, Gemini, Binance all have stablecoins tied to their exchanges. FTX did not, but that was on their plans and their master, what seems to be a very clear Ponzi scheme. Where the hell are the customer assets plan? They misread the market as being winner take all. While it's increasingly obvious that multiple stablecoins have a place in the market. Massive oversight, missed out on multi-billion or potentially trillion-dollar opportunity. Bad bull market decisions. They made the awful decision every degen makes during the bull. Buy flashy things you probably shouldn't. Like paying $200 million for naming rights to the Miami Heat arena. Bet they wish they could have that one back. Or they don't, because they don't care, which is how we got here. FTX Ventures. Have you seen FTX Ventures investments recently? Pretty underwhelming for an A-tier brand and big name team. 30% of this fund, Masari Series B, Doodle Insane 54 million raise. SRM and Ray dropping the charts, downtrend. Basically, they're big holders in that, and they need funds, or all their stuff's just going to get liquidated by the court sooner or later. Dump, 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 dump is where those have been going, and it's where they will continue to go. SBF, second largest donator to the Biden campaign, spending a lot of time in DC. Very disappointing. FTX and Sam got very quiet on the Tornado Cast issue. Would have been nice to see them speak up a little bit louder. Really weird, odd political aspirations. And donating to the party that hates cryptocurrency more than any other party. Stupid. Just beyond stupid. And then he bagged Brady's wife, and now they're getting divorced. Obviously, I'm kidding or I'm not. I don't know, but it's all weird. The fact is that the FTX product hasn't been making improvements. The performance sucks. High frequency trader. Most quality HFTs are looking at MEV rather than arbing spreads across the exchanges and scalping pennies here. FTX stocks is proof that instead of going deeper and more into crypto native, their product selection, they were looking for easy money outs to increase volume and fees. I thought that maybe they were trending towards a merger with Robinhood and they were going to become this crazy powerhouse. But it turns out that, you know, they were gilded on the outside, but a crazy scam on the inside. Not your keys, not your crypto. Get your coins off of exchanges and custody your own stuff. It's the safest way to be by very far. FTX provided a massive bailout for Alameda in Q2, which came back to haunt them 40 days ago. 173 million FTT tokens worth over 4 billion USD became active on chain. A rabbit hole appeared. That day, over 8 billion USD worth of FTT was moved on chain. And when you look at me, we're going around the outside. It's 8 Mile. Okay, we're Eminem right now. We had a flow going. I'm going crazy. Too much caffeine, too much crypto, too much stress. I'm gonna explode. Woo! I went through all the transfers, said Lucas. That happened during that day, found a peculiar transaction that interacted with a contract from the FTT ICO. The 2019 contract automatically released 173 million FTT from the token's ICO initial coin offering. The recipient of the 4 billion USD worth of FTT, I mean, we're talking billions, man. That's crazy. Not millions, billions. So what? Alameda and FTT were intrinsically connected from day one. Alameda obviously participated in the ICO, right? They sent the entire balance to the address of the deployer, which is controlled by someone at FTX. In other words, Alameda auto-vested $4 billion worth of FTT just to send it right back to FTX. Lucas thinks that Alameda blew up in Q2 along with 3AC among others. It only survived because it was able to secure funding from FTX using this collateral, 172 million of the FTX FTT exchange token that was guaranteed to vest 4 months later. Once vested, all tokens were sent back as repayment. This ICO contract vests automatically. Had FTX let Alameda implode in May, their collapse would have ensured the subsequent liquidation of all FTT tokens vested in September. It would have been terrible for FTX, so they had to try to find a way to avoid that scenario. The timing makes sense. Basically, they were putting on a facade of being solvent, being all good. They're here to save you. They're here to bail you out. They got more money than they know what to do with. They're buying this. Credit lines over here. But it turned out to be actually the exact opposite. This put a big dent on their balance sheet. They weren't solvent no more. Could have been even before them, but this definitely didn't help. Not even in the slightest. There's a chance that the folks from Binance knew about this arrangement. An opportunity emerged as large holders of FTT, they could start deliberately tanking the market to force FTX to face a liquidity crunch. Long and behold, Binance comes to FTX's rescue. Did CZ of Binance just walk out with one of his largest competitors at the expense of a relatively large FTT bad that he was going to unwind anyway? FTX US President Brett Harrison stepped down the day before in September. Maybe he wasn't on board with a transaction that looked like outright fraud. Voyager had a ton of FTT and SRM Serum tokens. Just like Alameda, SBF might have had no other option other than to bail them out. So these just didn't come a dumping. I mean, if you can buy this for less than the dump impact will have, that's a no-brainer if you can float that bill, or in his case, if you can try to float it by basically fraud. Wow. This is crazy. There is so much to unpack here, but that is the overview and gist. I know it was a lot of information just thrown right at you, in your face. Gonna try to clean it up here in editing, but the fact remains is that there are all these bad signs. They masqueraded as the hero, but they were the villain.
Let's hear it for my boy A-Train. All right.
In retrospect, we all should have seen it. But they were on a pedestal. They seemed infallible. And this is a reminder that that's never the case. My name is Vosk. You're on the Voskcoin YouTube channel. Home of our CSO tales. Our chief solvent officer, she ensures there's no insolvency issues here at Voskcoin. She spends all her money on balls, treats, and frisbees. Oh, and the water bill, because we like playing with the hose. Subscribe, stick around. We'll navigate this together. Stay strong, stay smart. I'll see you on the next video.